Hey, what's up guys? My name is Anand and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be doing a quick walkthrough of Google Analytics 4. I'm going to be showing you the dashboard, what Google Analytics 4 is, how do you analyze, metrics and website performance or e-commerce performance, what are the different sections within Google Analytics, what do they mean, and just give you like a high level quick overview. So let's get started. So the first thing is, really Google Analytics 4 is the latest version of their analytics suite. And for everyone who is in their current universal analytics, you all have to migrate your property to the latest version, which is GA4, because Google is going to retire universal analytics from July 1. So your website will no longer collect data and you will lose all kind of metrics. So make sure that you migrate to GA4. If you don't know how to do that, let me know in the comments section or send me an email. So GA4 is basically a powerful tool for tracking and analyzing website data similar to UA. It allows for the creation of multiple accounts like properties and under each account, and each property can be like a bucket or it can be dedicated for one website, or you can include multiple websites and apps if they are logically connected in a single property. You won't have any views like universal analytics. So in GA4 it's account and property, right? And each property can be dedicated for one website or an app. Now when it comes to setting up a GA4 account, there are a couple of ways to do that, but the most stable, recommended and professional way to do it is through Google Tag Manager. Just a few of the things. A data stream is basically your web, iOS or Android asset, and you need to choose which data stream you want to enable. For most cases it's a website, and the only main thing that you need to remember is the measurement ID or tracking ID, which is what you will need when it comes to setting up Google Analytics 4. The next key thing is, in the admin panel, it provides a different set of options, from setting up the assistant to data collection, conversions, audiences, linking your Google Analytics, linking your Google Ads account. So it's almost like your admin panel is the main section from which you will perform different functions in your GA4. And I'll quickly show you how exactly it looks like. I'm just going through some theory over here. The other thing is, with your GA4, you can track events. An event can be something like button click, scrolling, outbound clicks, someone searching on your website. It can be watching an embedded video. It can be filling out a form. It can be a purchase. It can be any activity or any type of engagement on your website. That's basically what an event means. Next, I think I covered this. So let's see. Reports. Report is an important aspect of Google Analytics 4. Sorry, what am I doing? With Google Analytics 4, you have a bunch of different options in terms of creating reports. The most common reports are, acquisition report, which is where, from where your traffic is coming from or your users are coming from. Then you have engagement, as the name suggests, what type of activity happens on your website after user lands on your website. It can be events, purchase, conversions, and so on and so forth. And the final report is monetization, which is suitable for e-commerce brand. So users can view, traffic sources, they can view like pages and sessions and customize their report by adding, dimensions and metrics. And then some of the advanced features of Google Analytics 4 are it allows you to track user behavior based on their exploration path. You can even do some funnel analysis and path exploration. So those are some key cool things that can be done through GA4. And you can even manage like data using segments and metrics. So that's pretty cool. And finally, Tag Manager is the most important aspect of this entire setup, I would say. With Tag Manager, you can, like I said earlier, you can install GA4, but you can also create like tags for tracking events, purchases, conversions. You can even track Google Ads conversions and sync that data to your GA4. So lots of cool stuff that can be done. And finally, if you don't know about GA4, my YouTube channel is a bunch of content. It has a bunch of videos about GA4 conversion tracking, how to set up, and all those different things. So feel free to watch those videos where I deep dive into specific sections. Now I want to quickly show you like the dashboard, so let's get started. All right, so this is a sample dashboard, and it's a demo account. And as you can see, when you first log into your GA4, once it has been set up, this is your reporting snapshot. As you can see, it will show you the number of users. You can look at the new users. I know that in Universal Analytics, you had something called as like session duration. Now you have like average engagement time. And then if you are tracking purchase, then you have like revenue information as well. Then you get some real-time data. As you can see, if you click on it, you will see like real-time analytics. So how many people have visited your website in the last 30 minutes, from what source or medium they came from, as you can see, and the type of audience. So if you have different types of audiences, you can see that. You can even see like the different pages they visit. So that's pretty cool over here. You can see the events that happens on your website. So how many people are viewing an item, scrolling, engaging, first visit, top spender, how many people added to their cart. A bunch of things can be done in terms of analysis. You can look at the number of conversions. So that's your real-time analytics, right? Then I mentioned about standard reporting. So you have your acquisition report. So this is where you will get to see like the number of users and new users, from where they come from. So the demographics. Then you can group them by source. So from where was their original source and through what medium they came from. So source is basically the origin, and the medium is basically the mode with which they came to your website, right? So the medium is basically, okay, cost per click, organic, referral, email, and so on and so forth. If you're running any Google ads, you can see that data as well. That's cool. If you want to know more about like the traffic acquisition, I suggest looking at this report. I think this is very important because this is where you will get to see a lot more details about the number of users, the sessions, the engaged session, average time spent per session, events per session, the engagement rate. So I think this is actually more useful to analyze your traffic information and from where they come from. You can use this default session grouping to again break it down by source or medium, or you can even do something like, okay, session source is Google, and then you can add a secondary dimension as medium, session medium. So as you can see, the source is Google and the medium is cost per click. So that's how you can like break it down and truly analyze like where they came from and which mode they came from and what's the engagement and metrics for that particular user group. All right. Just something to remember, on the top right you have your date selector, so you can pick a date range and the data will update accordingly. So as you can see, I've selected last 30 days and this data changed. The other thing is to look at the engagement. So this is where you can analyze like what type of activity happens on your website. So as you can see, average engagement time, engaged session per user. You can look at like the events. So these are all like custom events that you can set up on your website. User stickiness is something pretty cool. This is new. So I suggest like taking a closer look at it. If you want to know more about like your custom events that you have set up, so let's say how many people have added their product to the cart or filled out a form, generated lead. It can be like subscribe to your newsletter, it can be, booking an appointment, it can be button clicks, like those are all falling under like custom events. To do that, click on the event section, and then this is where for each event, the total event count, user, and if you have any e-commerce tracking for that event, then you can assign that and you can track the revenue as well. So if you click on more, like 50, there should be a purchase event, and that's where this revenue is coming from. So purchase event always has like a purchase value. So if you click on purchase, as you can see, you have like the total revenue for that event. Now, conversions is basically, a more robust form of tracking. So of course, a purchase is considered as a conversion, but you can enable any event as a conversion. So to do that, click on admin, you need to go back to events, and you can mark, so right now this is a demo property, but you can mark an event as a conversion. You just need to enable this in your property, and it will show up in your reporting engagement section. So that's your conversion. If you want to know more about like your different pages and landing pages and how they perform, you need to go to your pages and screen report. So this is where you will see, like, if you click on page title, page path and screen, page title and screen, as you can see, this is where you will get to see like page title and all the different activities and metrics. You can click on page path, so that's your /URL, and then you can see like more details over here. You can even add like secondary dimensions. So for this URL, for this, what was the source and how did it perform, right? So that's something you can do as well. You can even say like, campaign over here, and if you're running Google Ads, so it will show up over here. So that's pretty cool that you can do over here. So this is a Google ad campaign, I believe that that's been going on. So yeah, Google Ads Performance Max. So as you can see, for this URL coming from this campaign, what's the engagement? So seems like the average engagement time is pretty poor over here, so you can take any action. Landing pages, basically for different landing pages, what's the metrics? Well, not set is an issue with GA4. I hope they can fix it, but let's say if Google does not figure out the session activity, then it will set it up as not set. If it cannot if it does not detect a page view event, then it will set as not set. So there's a bunch of reasons for that, but ideally what you can do is you can increase the session duration from, I think the default is like 30 minutes to like 7 hours 55 minutes. That will reduce the not set. Finally, monetization. If you have an e-commerce store, this is where you will check or analyze your revenue details, what item was purchased, item purchased by name, and by promotion, all kind of cool stuff. If you click on e-commerce purchases, it will show you this grid of the number of times item viewed, an item added to cart, a bunch of things over here, right? So you can like filter by item category. If you have a strong integration with GA4, again, this is not done by default. If you are running Shopify, I have a video on how to connect with GA4. If you have any other brand that's running on e-commerce like WooCommerce, then you can connect that through Tag Manager. But again, you can drill down by item ID, by item brand, by item name, and you can see like the different things that's going on. Something to look at it is user purchase journey. So this is where you can optimize your funnel. So how many people started, how many people viewed to cart, and how many people added to the basket, initiated checkout, and purchase. So you can see like the drop off happening at each stage. So that's your monetization report. And finally, if you want to track like how many people are you able to retain or how many are returning users, you can use this retention report. All right, finally, I want to show you some cool things. The funnel exploration report is what is pretty awesome, which you can check for your e-commerce brand, or if you want to see like what type of activity happens from the first visit to the session start to like page view and purchase, what kind of activity happens. And again, you can change these dimensions. You can even do something called as path exploration. Again, this is a pretty cool report where you can see like, okay, after they start a session, where do they go next, what is their drop off, and what type of event happens. So I recommend looking at this. You can even start from scratch and you can do a free form report over here. And then segment overlap is basically, it will show you like what's the comparison between like mobile traffic versus tablet and their age, and what's their overlap. Finally, if you're running advertising, I recommend looking at the advertising section. It will show you like the conversion path. So basically, how many people came directly through organic search, through different sources, what kind of impact they had, and let's say you have a campaign running, what type of conversions they got for each of those campaigns. Pretty cool advertising report, I would say, and a lot of data in here. And the admin section, I want to quickly go through it. As I said, this is the setup assistant. It will, if you click on setup assistant and click on data stream, and then click on this is your measurement ID. If you click on configure tag settings, this is where it will show you like how you can set up the tag. Then you have your property settings, your data stream. This is where you will set up your events, as I mentioned earlier. You can mark those events as conversions, so you can see over here. Audiences, if you can build a custom audience based out of engagement and sync that to Google Ads for retargeting. Data settings. So again, if you are running retargeting ads and if you want to sync that audience, make sure to enable data signals and acknowledge this. Data retention, you can increase this as high as possible. And then debug view is pretty cool. You can see like in real time like what are the different activities happening. This is where you will link your account with your Google Ads account. If you want to sync your data to BigQuery and do machine learning using Vertex AI and build propensity models and AI models based on your raw data, I highly recommend using this. Merchant Center and Search Console. So I know that was a pretty quick walkthrough, but I also wanted to give you like a kind of in-depth walkthrough on GA4. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section. Make sure to like, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you next time. Thank you.